Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to your Sunday early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well. And I was a little confused because my dad ended up putting out the garbage cans a day early. And so I'm thinking, it's not Monday. Monday's garbage day. And I'm like, why are the cans out there? I think he got his days goofed up. So, welcome. Good morning, Ruth Ann. You are the first one popping on today. Welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. Happy Sunday. And we'll give it a minute for everyone to come flying in. Here comes Joe Neal. Good morning, good morning. Looks like someone else is here too, but they didn't roll your name. So if you want to say good morning, then we'll know who else is here. Let's see. Gwen, good morning, Gwen. Glad you are here. It was so nice meeting you yesterday. Gwen popped into the rummage sale with her grandkids and her, I think it was probably a daughter-in-law, maybe a daughter, I'm not sure. And so they had a good time looking around. Got to chat. It's always nice to meet someone who otherwise I see in 2D. So that was fun. So welcome, welcome. Everybody's starting to roll in. Good morning, Abigail. Thank you for the sunrise. And actually here it is now light out. We have made it. It must be spring. Good morning, Cindy. Glad you're here. Waving back. And I think you're gonna love today's reading. It was spot on for me. So, just to give you a prelude. Yes, that was very nice. It was awesome. You are tall. I didn't realize you were tall. That's pretty cool. Good morning, Mel. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. And Mel I met because she came to one of my women's retreats several years ago. So it's always nice to meet people. And I mean, we see the little thumbnails or we can maybe see a video, but it's always nice to meet people. So sometimes connect with people for coffee if they're coming through the Appleton area. So always a good thing. Anywho, I was, first I was muscle testing to see what card deck. And it ended up not being a card deck. It's one of the books. And when I held the book and said, okay, Spirit, what do we need to be paying attention to? Open to a page. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And then I had a few minutes to spare. So I started cleaning out the stuff that's in my little caddy here. And I'm far enough into my new journal that I'm ready to have the old journal go in the box with the rest of the journals. But there's two pink tabs. Let me show you. Two pink tabs on the old journal. So I wanted to check those out and see what they were. Surprise, surprise, surprise. They matched exactly with today's reading. So without further ado, let's share the reading. Tosha Silver, Outrageous Openness, Letting the Divine Take the Lead. And the page I opened to, the page that presented itself to me, and those of you who have the book, is 130, page 130. And the title is, Why Give Your Power to a Reader or Anyone Else? So in other words, why give your power away? And the first person who popped into my mind was the elderly woman from the church where we're doing the affordable housing project, and she said to me, just tell us what to do. And I'm like, nope, not my job, not my job. But that sense of giving your power away, that I need someone else who I perceive, good morning, Patty, glad you are here, who I perceive to be smarter or more in the know or in a position of authority or whatever, good morning, Carolyn, welcome, is the one who has to make the decision, not me. So, why give your power to a reader or anyone else? Two quotes on this one. Remember, I said that whenever there's two quotes at the beginning of the chapter, it's always a really good chapter. Holding true. So here's the first quote, which is by Adyashanti. Enlightenment is learning to stand on your own 2 feet. Yes, we are conditioned to do that. And because it's conditioning, because it's learning, we can unlearn it. We can decondition ourselves. Is that a word? It is now. Enlightenment is learning to stand on your own 2 feet. And I think we oftentimes avoid that because of the responsibility of standing on our own 2 feet. If I screw something up, then the buck stops here. I'm responsible. And somehow responsibility being a bad thing instead of a good thing. We got to flip that around. Good morning, Kelly. Welcome, welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. Glad you're here. Good morning, good morning. So that's the first quote. Enlightenment is learning to stand on your own 2 feet. Adyashanti. And the second one is by Henry David Thoreau. When you knock, ask to see God, not one of the self-appointed intermediaries. So in other words, are you taking the guidance from source instead of expecting someone else or those people who kind of push their way in? You know, I remember when I was being raised, good morning, Beth, the Catholic Church, the thing at that point was, don't read the Bible yourself. You're not smart enough to understand it. So we, the priests, will tell you what it says. And I'm like, that doesn't sit so well with me. When you knock, ask to see God, not any of the self-appointed intermediaries. That's Henry David Thoreau. So here's the reading. Let's a couple of nice deep breaths just to open space for this new information. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Good morning, good morning. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And let's see what parts of this you love. Let's see what parts of this maybe irritate you. That's always useful grist for the mill, isn't it? So here we go. She's saying, some days my work life is a walking contradiction. When I'm not giving classes or writing, I've been giving readings since I was practically a teen. Yet I laugh that I'm the reluctant psychic. Now don't get me wrong, I often enjoy my work. I like acting as a trusted second opinion for people's intuition. Yet I've always been saddened by how some folks are dying to give their power away to someone, anyone. Some wish they could have a reader decide everything. But a good intuitive never grabs the wheel. She helps people see a reasonable route and know the pitfalls and lessons along the way. She has them match what they are intuitively feeling with the advice. So the advice takes second stage. It's not center stage. That's your intuition. The internal guidance that we've been talking about, working on, practicing for how many years now? Besides, no one can be 100% accurate with predictions. Our future is what Sanskrit calls the prarabdha karma, the bodily destiny, combined with what we create through our evolving actions and thoughts. We still have free will, right? We still have free will. Learning to keep our vibration high and positive is the key. So, for me to kick that in the butt a little bit. Keep the vibration high and positive. So, we'll be doing that today. We make our future anew every day, since life's mix of fate and free will, with a dash of mystery that could never be fully read. In a good reading, you are empowered, not some quaking victim of predictions. Your deepest intuitions are confirmed as your body feels the rightness of what you hear. While there are definitely good readers out there, there are some to flee, flee, flee. They profit by creating worry and dependency. They stockpile their bank accounts with the currency of fear. That piece of dependency, one of the readers that I use, she won't let you be read more than once every 6 months. That's her way of saying, you got this, you can figure this out. This is merely guidance to assist what you already know. So she kind of nips that dependency thing in the bud. And in any case, I often believe the next right step in the dilemma is to call in divine order. Good morning, Cheryl. Glad you're here. My true passion is helping people align with the divine. And remember, she has that little mantra. Basically, the perfect solution is already chosen. It's on its way to me in divine right timing and divine right order. I'm so happy and grateful now that. And you fill in the blank. It's taken care of. It's done deal. Don't worry about it. So here are a couple little stories to share the gist of this kind of thing that she's talking about. For years, I've read Elaine and Zelda, one of the first same-sex couples to legally marry in LA. They both have powerful, fixed charts, so they have their battles without a doubt. Nonetheless, the more they turn their union over to the divine, the better it goes. Elaine wrote me, alarmed that a psychic promised they'd only be together 2 more years. I asked, why would anyone predict this? You just had a baby together, for Christ's sake. Why create such horrible thoughts? Besides, you'd never know if such a prediction would create the event. Good morning, Janine. And how that would work is someone starts to perseverate on that. Well, it's never, I'll give you an example. Just went to see the musical Tina, about Tina Turner, and one of the themes that ran through there was Ike's belief that everyone was going to leave him. And he behaved in a way that set it up to happen. How often do we do that? We believe something is a certain way and we behave in that way until that's what happens, right? Let's see. I calmed Elaine down by insisting that if they called in divine order, they'd be together as long as was karmically right. No need to fear. Fortune telling be damned. The same thing happened to my friend Dave, who was dating a guy he enjoyed, just letting the story unfold. Then a reader, unsolicited, shared that the current boyfriend was wrong for him and a different guy would arrive later. Suddenly Dave could no longer be present. The psychic's words boomed in his brain like a mutant radio station gone mad. I showed him how to let them go. A good reader can be an invaluable Sherpa in the mountains, pointing out which trails work best and helping you find your way. A bad one can lead you right off the next cliff. Don't blindly follow. Your answers are inside you. Don't blindly follow. Your answers are inside you. Does that sound like it could be useful to our United States at this point in time? Yeah. So what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on the idea that you have what you need within you, that there's that still inner voice that guides you, and that there are people who are pretty good at reading and could be augmentation for your intuition taking the lead. So the reader that I use does half hour. Thank you for posting that. And the way she sets hers up is she does 15 minutes of giving you feedback from the universe, source, her guides, etc., and then 15 minutes for you to ask questions. The last time I was read, which was a couple of years ago, it was right after I moved here, a couple of years ago, I had 5 questions. By the time she was done with her 15 minutes of tapping into her sources, she'd answered 4 out of the 5 questions. So a good reader knows their stuff, and you feel it. You feel it within. So when they say something, it's kind of like, aha, instead of, that doesn't really fit for me. Occasionally, I think she's probably read me 3 or 4 times over the course of time that I've known her, and occasionally there's been that, I don't know that fits. I don't know. And then things unfold, usually within a week or 2 after that demonstrate that it did fit, which is kind of wild. And again, there are all those people who do not believe in any of this stuff. That is fine. That's absolutely fine. But for those of us who have found this to be a lovely augmentation to our inner guidance, rock on with that. It doesn't have to be an either or thing. Good morning, Bobby. Welcome, welcome. Glad you are here. So, again, if you do consult readers, we do cards every day, right? This kind of thing. Don't pitch all of your internal guidance to the side and, well, Bonnie said blah, blah, blah. No. Pay attention to what your internal guidance is guiding you to. And if I say something that augments that, fabulous. If what I'm saying does not chime for you, dump it, right? So the old term for this in my previous faith was cafeteria Catholic. So you picked and chose what worked for you, and it was a derisive term, derogatory. But I don't think it's wise for any of us with anybody to capitulate our whole sense of guidance and not pay attention to what's going on within because someone else says something, or someone else tells you that's not how it is, or someone else said we don't do it that way here. Hang on to your individuality. Hang on to your sovereignty. again, the lemmings go right off the cliff with the lead lemming. You want to have that questioning, right? The military, when someone joins the military, what do? They weed out the questioning as much as possible because they want you to listen to your superior. That's a weird situation, isn't it? I prefer the situations where everyone's opinion matters, everyone's input counts, and leveling the playing field so that everyone gets a voice. I think that's hugely important, and hugely important right now in America. We need that. So, enlightenment is learning to stand on your own 2 feet. And when you knock, ask to see God, not any of the self-appointed intermediaries. So, I'd love to hear from you how you plan to take this and move it forward. How you plan to focus on that inner guidance. For me right now, what I'm going to do is, after I say goodbye to all of you, I'm going to go make my cacao. I'm going to bring up my river pictures. Actually, the one I picked right now is River Rocks, and they are really cool. So turn on my music and sit and journal for a while and allow my inner guidance to come forth. That's what I'm going to do. What are you going to do? Put it in the feed. Love to hear. So, have an awesome day of self-reflection. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.